Can you ever imagine that because of a pig, just one pig, America and Great Britain, such mighty powers, came to the very brink of war? Sounds strange, doesn't it? Absolutely, but it's true. The Pig War of 1859. Today, we'll delve deep into this incident, based on the information we have. Yes, this event took place on the San Juan Islands. These islands at that time were, you could say, a disputed territory between America and Britain. All right, and the question is, how did the death of a pig, one that was eating someone's potatoes, become such a major international issue? So, where does the story begin? Who was this pig? Whose was it? The date was June 15, 1859. Okay, there was an American farmer named Lyman Cutler. He saw a black pig had entered his potato field and was eating his crop. Oh dear. So he shot the pig. Shot it straight away? Yes. Now that pig belonged to an Irish fellow named Charles Griffin. Griffin worked there for the British Hudson's Bay Company. Hudson's Bay Company, meaning British interests? Precisely. It was a significant British presence in that region. So Cutler said, look, damage has been done, I'll pay $10 in compensation. $10? How much would that be today? By today's standards, perhaps around $300. Okay, fair enough. But Griffin didn't agree. He said, no, I want $100. $100? That's a lot more. Roughly $3,000 in today's money? Yes, indeed. So Cutler flatly refused. He said, well, the pig was on my land. It came without permission. His point seems valid too. Yes, but now this was no longer just a fight between two people, meaning the matter escalated. But still, such a big issue over a pig. There must have been some prior history. What was the background? Well, the real root was the Oregon Treaty of 1846. The Oregon Treaty. Yes, heard of it. This treaty had defined the border between America and British North America, which later became Canada, mostly along the 49th parallel. Right, but when this line reached the sea near Vancouver Island, things got muddled. What was the problem? The treaty stated that the border would pass through the middle of the channel. Now, there wasn't just one channel there, but two, the Haro Strait and the Rosario Strait. Oh, so it wasn't clear which channel. Exactly. Now, America said the border should run through the Haro Strait, the western channel. This would give the islands to America. Yes, and Britain said, no, the border should run through the Rosario Strait, the eastern channel, which would make the islands theirs. So these San Juan Islands were between these two channels. Yes, they were. And the maps weren't clear either. A boundary commission was even formed in 1856, but it couldn't resolve the issue. All right, so when this pig incident happened, the land was already disputed, with both countries claiming it. Absolutely. The kindling was already there. It just needed a spark. So then, who provided it? I mean, how did military action begin? What happened was, British authorities said they would arrest Cutler. An American citizen? Yes. So the American settlers there asked the US military for help, and the army came immediately. The American commander was General William Harney. He was already considered somewhat anti-British. He promptly sent Captain George Pickett with 66 soldiers. George Pickett? Isn't he the one who became famous at Gettysburg in the American Civil War? Yes, the very same. So Pickett arrived on the island with his small detachment. 66 soldiers? For a pig? What did the British do them? They considered it a military encroachment on their land. In response, they sent 3 warships. 3 warships? Yes. And then the situation just kept escalating. By August, there were about 460 American soldiers on the island with 14 cannons. And Britain? Britain had 5 warships, carrying over 2,000 soldiers and around 70 cannons. That's an overwhelming force.
Soldiers on both sides had orders not to fire first.
But when so much gunpowder accumulates?
Precisely. Any small misunderstanding, any accident or a stray shot, and war could have broken out.
And some people, like you mentioned General Harney, perhaps even wanted a war.
Such things are said. Some believe he might have wanted to unite America against Britain before the Civil War, or perhaps it was some other political game.
So how was this terrifying situation averted? How was the war stopped?
Fortunately, when this news reached Washington, D.C. and London, there were sensible people there too.
Oh, yes. American President Buchanan immediately sent General Winfield Scott. He was a very experienced and wise general.
Okay.
And on the other side
Was Rear Admiral Robert Baines of the British Navy. He also showed remarkable prudence.
what did he do? His local governor had ordered him to attack the Americans, to drive them off the island. But Admiral Baines refused. He refused. Yes, he famously said that he would not involve two great nations in a war over a pig. It's a very famous quote of his.
Wow, so the wisdom of the officers on the ground prevailed.
To a great extent. Then, negotiations took place between General Scott and the British governor, Douglas. What was decided? It was decided that, all right, until a final decision is made, both countries would maintain a joint military occupation of the island. Joint occupation? Yes, but the condition was that neither side would have more than 100 soldiers.
Well, that's quite an interesting solution. And surprisingly, it worked. This joint occupation lasted for 12 years.
12 years? Yes, and during that time, spend holidays together. That's a very positive outcome. So when and how was the final decision made? What became of the border? Eventually, in 1871, another treaty was signed in Washington, the Treaty of Washington. Right. In it, this matter, the ownership of the San Juan Islands, was referred for international arbitration. Arbitration? Meaning a third country made the decision? Yes, exactly. The German Emperor, Wilhelm I, was appointed as the arbitrator. The German Emperor decided? Yes. A commission headed by him reviewed the entire case and announced its decision on October 21, 1872. What was the verdict? The decision came in favor of America. The commission stated that the border would pass through the Haro Strait, meaning the San Juan Islands became American? Yes, and since then, they have been part of the United States. So, that was the whole story of the Pig War. What can we learn from this? Is it just a historical anecdote? No, I think the lessons are quite profound. First, a small incident, if pre-existing political tensions are present, if borders are unclear, and if nationalist sentiment is high, can create a massive storm. True. How dangerous misunderstandings can be. Absolutely. But on the other hand, it also shows how crucial leadership is. If people like Admiral Baines or General Scott hadn't been there, perhaps war would have indeed broken out. Yes, that's a valid point. Diplomacy and good sense saved the day. Yes, and it demonstrates that even in the most difficult situations, a peaceful solution can be found, if there's an intention. Absolutely. So, in the end, it's worth pondering that there might be many such incidents in history where a slight alteration of words or a single line on a map caused major disputes. Yes, and are there still such sparks, such ambiguities in international relations around us today? That's something to reflect upon.